Guess what they've told us now? Half the people on the Irish emergency housing list, the Irish homeless figures, are not even Irish. Yes, can you believe it? Minister James Browne, in answer to a question by Gript yesterday, confirmed that 50% of the people accessing emergency accommodation in Ireland are foreign. That is absolutely crazy, crazy. And the reaction it has got on social media is phenomenal. I'll play it for you now. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. When you hear this, the figures are 16,614. And Minister James Browne, confirmed yesterday that over half of them, 50%, are not even Irish. Now, when people before profit and Sinn Féin and all the lefties who claim to be for housing, when they raise these figures, and we always hear that the homeless figure has reached a new record, they forget and forgot to tell us that half of that are not even Irish people. Listen to Minister James Browne now answering the question.
We can address it.
Just very last question. Do you accept that over half of people within the emergency accommodation system are indeed from abroad? Is that a figure you're aware of?
You know, we published that figure. Approximately 50% of people in emergency accommodation are not Irish citizens. However, they have a right to be here and they have a right to housing supports. But our population has been increasing significantly, and I think that's one of the uniqueness of our housing.
So he says there they've a right to be here and that our population has been increasing. Yeah, we know, because you guys have allowed that. You guys have allowed mass immigration without turning the tap off. And now look, you admit that half of the people on the homeless figures are not even Irish. Who can forget the scenes of tents? I believe they're back again. Tents from international protection applicants, all by the Grand Canal, all outside the offices, the government international protection offices. Crazy. Crazy. And you don't turn off the tap. And then you say there's no houses, there's no builders. It's going to be 20 years before our own housing crisis will be solved. What hope is that for the young Irish couples, or for the people on emergency housing lists and the people on social housing lists, and ordinary people who are ordinary workers who just want to buy a house for themselves or get accommodation? This is outrageous. Minister James Browne has admitted yesterday how outrageous it is. Outrageous. He says they have a right to be here. Since when? Since when? Even freedom of movement among EU countries. You don't become a burden on the host countries. That's among EU members of the European Union. You must not become a burden on the host country. That's part of the rules. So how on earth do the entire globe have a right to be here, Minister Browne, and be housed by the Irish, who have no houses for themselves? You have no problem, though, finding builders and finding construction workers and funding IPAS accommodation, luxury apartments. There's no issue there. No problem. And you say they have a right to be here, and then they tell us there are safe country lists. So people, there's Georgia is on it, South Africa is on it, Algeria is on it, Albania is on it, and yet people still come from these countries. So what is the point in having safe country lists? It's gone past time, a ridiculous time. It's not getting ridiculous, it's gone way past. I remember reading that all the amount of Georgians that come in. And Georgia's a beautiful country. I can go right now on holidays to Georgia and it's 100% safe. And the Georgian ambassador to Ireland even said in a news article, there is no reason why people should be claiming asylum from Georgia. The only reason I can think of is the freebies, is the luxury apartments that they all tell each other is here, the 3 meals a day, the vouchers for this, the vouchers for that, the free dental and the free health, plus you can work, the bonus level there, you can work and you're not asked for any contribution. So that is where we are, guys. That is where we are. There are safe country lists. There is a big list of them. And yet they don't stop the people coming. They should get turned around at the airport. What is going on? Stop calling them safe country lists then. Or safe countries. Plus, we take into account that Micheál Martin told us that 80% were economic migrants anyway. So they're not really in need, as we would think, the traditional refugee. The traditional refugee who was in need. Now they're all mixed in with 80% economic migrants. They come from safe countries. Their own politicians and their own leaders in those countries say there's no reason for you to come. They tell Ireland, wake up. Wake up, the Georgian ambassador told Ireland, wake up. I think the South African ambassador also said there's no need. I think the Nigerian ambassador asked for the Nigerians to come back. The Syrians have asked for the Syrian people to return home to help rebuild the country. We have no houses here. There are none getting built. And now they just admitted yesterday. They have just admitted, and he said it's so cool as a cucumber. Shall we publish that? Yeah, 50. We published those figures. 50% of the homeless figure. When we hear a new record has been hit, of course a new record has been hit because the population has exploded. Of course a new record of homelessness has been hit. Who is in charge of this place? Who? It's unbelievable. And as I say, they have no problem in finding builders when they want to. And it's time the youth of the country woke up. I think many of my age group and older are awake. And the youth are still a little bit, some youth now. Some are very awake. But if you want houses and you want to start a family and you want to get on the road because life goes quick. So if you want all that, you've got to start getting politically awake and contacting your politicians. And don't be frightened to contact the politicians and write them an email and ask them what exactly is going on. What do you mean the entire globe has a right to be here and a right to be housed? What's this nonsense now? Because like I said, even EU law states among EU members, you cannot be a burden on the host country. It's not allowed. And yet a minister in this government came out yesterday and said the globe has a right to be here. A right. This is why we demand now a debate on immigration is long gone. We need a referendum because 82% of the country have had it. And after that piece yesterday, Mr. James Brown definitely had it. I would say that would wake 100% of the people up. Maybe 1% of open border fanatics. We have to deal with those. They should just be no time for that nonsense. We have no time for open border fanatics. It's time to get real and time to wake up. When we now hear the homeless figure, we cut it in half. Because the other half, that's the government's fault. That is the government allowing that. So, I wanted to bring you that as always. I will be here to bring you the news from X. You would have missed that because RTE would not highlight that to you. Or the lefties in the Dáil would not highlight that to you. So it's time now you start getting awake. research what are the safe countries, and then look at the figures of people coming in from those countries. It's astronomical, and it's phenomenal how it's allowed to go on so long. But now we know, now we're getting clarification, little by little, the clarification is coming in. So more and more people will wake up with that news. Set up an account on X if you like, if you fancy it. If not, like I said, I'll be here. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share the info in the video, and I'll be back very soon. Thanks a million, guys. Talk to you in the next one.